Hello, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and thank you for joining me for my latest stamping and creating. So today I'm doing something a little different. In the past I have shared all sorts of cards, but today I thought I would share one of the kits that you will find in the kits collection. For me, yes, I am a seasoned crafter, but you know, sometimes you just want to do something, you want to craft, but you don't want to think about what do I need to pull off the shelf, or what am I going to do, what stamp set am I going to do, or you want to take something with you on holiday. These are great for that. Or if you have a friend who wants to start crafting but doesn't know where to start, then this is where the kits come into their own. You will not find them in the catalogue, and I'll just share the kit in a second. I just wanted to show you the catalogue and what you'll find in there, which is basically not a lot. So you will find in most of the catalogues, there will be a page which is called Creativity Made Easy. And this talks about the kits, it's just in general, and in fact there's not even that much in there. You will find all the kits that are available in the kits collection. So if you go to oakvillecrafts.com, in the right hand border, if you scroll down, you will find a link direct to the kits collection. And it's also at the bottom. And also, if you just go to my online store, you will find the kits collection in there. So I can never tell you from day to day what is actually in the kits collection. I can tell you that there will be a lot to choose from. There are kits, and there are also just sort of general crafting kits, which will include things like home decor, packaging, tags. And you just pick what it is that interests you. So today I have decided I'm going to make some thank you cards, because I had a big birthday end of last month, and I have quite a few cards to send. So I thought, you know what's nothing better than getting a hold of the A Milliom Thanks Kit. So as I said, you will find that in the kits collection store, and I've not actually opened the box yet. I took the plastic wrapping off because I didn't think you needed me to try and fight my way into the box. And I will go through what exactly is in there, but needless to say, there's everything in here that you need. You don't need to add anything other than maybe a pair of paper snips or scissors, because you're going to need that to get into the wrapping, and the take your pick tool, because that's a great way of getting off any of the embellishments off the backing and then onto your card. So here goes. So this is as I said, it's the Milliom Thanks card kit. And I do know that there are 9 card bases, 3 each of 3 different sorts, and there are also 9 envelopes. So as I said, there's everything that you need, including the instructions. Don't panic if you can't find the instructions. They tend to be tucked in on the back. So you have instructions which are fairly simple. This basically tells you what you need to have for each particular card. And there is also a list of what should be in the kit here as well. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So this is the kit. So you get, as I said, 9. Oops. There's all sorts in here. You get 9 card bases. So we have this one, which is Evening Evergreen. And I don't know if you can see, but it's raised on here. So this has got dots on it. So it's like clear acrylic type on top. So that makes it all nice and glossy and shiny for those dots. So that's got dots. This has got squares. So we've got Evening Evergreen. I would have said that was petal pink. And then this is more old olive, so that's squares. And then this is leaves, but it looks more like fronds because the card will be that way up. So it's not going to be that way. If you wanted it that way, you would just have to cut your card and then just stick it onto a card panel. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with this. It doesn't matter if you are an experienced crafter. Sometimes just being able to sit and craft and not have to think about it is great, which is precisely what I'm going to do. Sometimes you think, okay, well, I've got that, but I want to do something slightly different, and that's equally as great. It's really up to you how you want to use the kits. So as I said, 9 card bases. You have quite a lot of pre-cut images. So we have hearts, this is banners, this is like a faux ribbon, labels, more banners, and then we also have, these are 3 sheets of these. So we have, I guess they're limes. I would say that they were limes, seeing as they're green, and then flowers, orange slices, other flowers, and these circular pieces with the actual fronds on. So you have 3 of those. And then you also have, of course, your envelopes. So the envelopes tend to have something that's printed on the inside. Sometimes they have the front, something on the front, but these have got like cute little pre-printed diagonal lines on. You must have clear block so that you can stamp. You get an ink spot. So with this kit, you get Evening Evergreen. You have your stamp set, and seeing as the kit's called A Milliom Thanks, obviously the sayings that we have here are thank you sayings. So we have thank you, a million thanks, seriously grateful for you, and all I can say is thanks. And then there's also some little accent stamps. So of course, once you've made up the kit, you've still got a stamp set, which is really good. And you still have your block and your ink spot. So you can just carry on making other cards with your what's left over. And they're usually quite generous with the things to go on the cards as well. So you will have bits left over. Now, I have had a few people ask me, what on earth are those? Stampin' Up, obviously, it wouldn't make sense to put wet glue in your kits because it would make the kits really heavy to post. So these are like a little adhesive dots. So this is your way of sticking things together. You have your embellishments, which I would say they were Evening Evergreen, but I can't quite tell. They kind of look black, but it could just be the light in here. And then you have some little mini dimensionals as well. So everything that you need, bar your scissors and your take your pick tool, is there. And you are just ready to go. You don't have to think about it. Everything is there. There's no prep work. You can just craft. So this kit actually costs £20. And if you're interested, the item number is 159444, and I'll put that in the details when I post the video later. So I am going to make one each of these cards. Personally, I quite like just to work off the pictures. Other people will want to follow step by step. But again, it's really up to you as to what you want to do. So let's make a start. I don't need my scissors now. I will need my take your pick tool in a minute. And I'm going to start with this card. Don't need my envelopes. And it's a good idea to get yourself organised ahead of time. Once you open the box, just put everything that you will need with each item. So if I just split everything up, and this probably makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, so that what came out of the box in what order actually is what goes with what. So I've got the hearts with that, and I have the banners, oops, 3 hearts, and then I have these 2, so they go in there, and then which means that this one, and nope, that one goes with that one. That one goes with that one, and then some of these ones will go with that one, I believe. So well, they're kind of split between the 2. So let's start, as I said, with the evening evergreen. So I'm just going to make 1 of each. I'm sure you don't really need me to be seen here making all 9. Having a bone folder would also be quite useful. So I know I need a banner. I'll take that. I need a heart. And your paper snips are handy because sometimes there's just like a little piece that's still on the edge of the die cut that you just don't really want there. And then you can just trim it off carefully. So that's that. And then I also need this sheet, but I only need this piece, carefully pry it out of there. So that's that bit, and then I need some of the flowers. So I need 2 pink ones. In fact, I need all of these by the looks of it. But you don't have to. You could just save a few and not use every single one. It's your choice. So I think that's everything that I need. So we're going to have that going on the front. That's going to go over the top. Then a few of these flowers are going to go over some of those. And then we have a banner. So they've used the A Milliom Thanks, which is this one. So this is Photopolymer Stamp Set. The one thing about photopolymer is sometimes you would have to stamp on a something that's slightly softer, like a piercing mat or something like that. And I would suggest that you actually take your block to your stamp. I don't think there's a good way. You know what, I'm going to put it that way, so that you've got it straight, because sometimes if you try and put it on here, you could end up sort of bending it a bit, and that's not really what you want, unless of course you really did want to have it bent around something. These are quite good at doing that sort of thing. Maybe not this one, but if you had something that had just a very long thin sentiment, you can bend them to fit around a circle or whatever it is that you want to use. And now, spots. When you look at the spot, there is one side where there is like a dotted. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's completely pre-cut, but if you just use your scissors on that line, she says, I don't think that's going to work for me. Why is it best laid plans and everything? You just kind of want to do that. There you go. And then just open it up. Some people like to separate them completely. I prefer not to, simply because then I know if I put it back together again, chances are it will stay together and not come apart in the box when I put it back. So you want to make sure that your stamp is well and truly inked up. It's up to you whether you take your spot to your stamp or your stamp to your spot. This is quite a long sentiment, so I'm going to do it so I take my spot to the stamp, and then I am simply going to stamp on here. And the nice thing, of course, with photopolymer is you can see where you're stamping. Let's see how that comes out. Just make sure that you've got it all on. There we go. That's great. So this is going to go on here. You could put it on there. It's really up to you. And now I'm going to need a couple of these. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. So how you do this is up to you. That I've actually picked the whole thing up there. So I'm just going to put a couple on here. I'm not going to worry about the leaves simply because I quite like to have them loose. Whoops. And then you just simply need to take off those backing bits. There we go. Now we want this in the middle, kind of like there. You can count your lines if that's how you prefer to do it. I'm just going to eyeball it. I think I'm going to go with that. Now you could lay this flat or you can put some of the mini dimensionals behind. I'm actually going to use some of the mini dimensionals. They tend to be quite generous with these, so you don't have to worry too much about using too many, except if you do use like about 20 on each thing, and then you will run out. Oops. Put that one back. Now I have long enough nails to do this. If you don't, again, you can use your Take Your Pick tool and just do that. And then you've got all of them on your tool, and then it's easy just to throw them all away at the same time. But my bin is out of reach, so I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to put my heart on, like so. And I'm not sure if I am going to put that in the middle or have it down the bottom like the diagram has it. I think I'm going to go down the bottom. I'm going to go. Actually, I could regret putting this because I do actually need to post these to people. So maybe it would be better just to simply use these little adhesive dots. I don't know if that is one or a bit of backing. That was backing, so that's all right. Can't imagine having glue in a box like that and it going all over the place. That would just be horrendous. So these little dots are a great idea. So again, I'm just going to put that on there. Now I will put dimensionals on these little flowers. So put them on here and then you just line them up. You can figure out which way it goes. No, not that one. Wait. So that's that one. I think I'll put this one on. And as I said, you don't need to put lots of the dimensionals on. And then I'm actually only going to do one of each colour, I've decided, because then that means I've got flowers left over to use how I want. Oops. Would help to actually put it the right way round. And I'm going to go for that one. There we go. So that's the first card. Not quite managed to put that on directly over the top of where it should be, but it is. There we go. So that's the first card. Again, you could, if you want, put the rest of the flowers on. I've decided not to. And then obviously you've got a lovely white inside to write your thank you note. So that's the first one. I need to put these out of the way so that I don't end up throwing those bits away by mistake. quick tidy up, which basically involves just pushing everything to one side. There we go. So one card done. And you could, if you wanted to, as soon as you've got flowers left, you could actually stick one on your envelope or one inside your card. And that's what I might do that. Put one inside the card and then I'll put one on the envelope. So when you see the finished card in my photograph, it'll have those done. So that is that. So that's card number 1. Card number 2. We will go for this. And again, this is another landscape card. If you want to make it portrait, you can. Let's just see. 1, 2, 3. So I remember I was saying that they give you plenty of these things. So you've only got 3 of these cards, but you have 5 of these. So you will, as I said, have plenty if you make a bit of a boo-boo. I mean, you could always stamp on the other side. Now, do I actually want to do it as it is on the kit instructions, or am I going to go off-piste? I think I'm going to get off-piste because I just want to show you that just to have it the other way around, it works. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that and I'll do another one the other way in a minute. So that's that. So we've got a seriously grateful for you. I'm not quite sure about the seriously, but we will go with it. The other thing that you could do if you didn't like the seriously is simply use some masking tape and just to cover the seriously, and then when you ink up, just remember to remove your masking tape, and then you can not have the seriously on there. I'm just going to put that down like that. Put that on top. Having said that, because this is an ink spot, you might just be able to get away with not getting any ink on it anyway. But the masking tape is definitely the easiest way of doing it. Again, we're going to ink up. Make sure it's well and truly inked. This is actually quite a juicy ink spot, which is nice. If you line your label up, if you've got some grid paper, this is just what grid paper is made for, basically, is making sure everything's lined up. And then you know that that is level by having the 2 pieces there on the same line, and then you can just simply stamp. And I'm desperately trying not to put my head on the phone. So there we go. So hopefully that has come out. Just make sure it's all stamped. There we go. So this one I think is just going to have this put on, stuck on there. Using these, and again, you don't need to go too mad, just like one at each end of the bannery bit, and then maybe one in the middle here. Actually, I might put one there as well because that does look like it might pop up, like so. And then we just need to take those off again. So I'm hoping you're all enjoying this week's weather and you're not suffering with it. I know we've got hotter days to come in the next few days, but hey, what is it? We complain when it's wet, we complain when it's cold, we complain when it's too hot. It's just like you can't win, really. I don't mind the heat, I just don't like the humidity. That's the thing that gets me, but hey. she says, I'm sitting here in my craft room, which is in the basement. So that means it's lovely and cool down here. So I'm going to put that on there like that. And then I'm going to put that on top like that with some mini dimensionals. And this is not actually having anything else stuck onto the sentiment, so again, you don't need to go completely nuts with it. So like top, bottom, one at each end and one in the middle is fine. Oops. So I'm going to put that on there. Oops. Line that up so that I know that that is straight. And the lovely thing is that these actually just go quite well with this, so you know then that it's straight. And then I just need to put some of these little enamel dots on. So rather than using the pokey tool end, I'm going to use the putty end, and I can just slide this off and put one here. Oops, you will come off. One up there. And I don't know, follow the card on this one, but hey, put that one there. So that was nice and simple. So that's the second card. So that's that one done. Find its envelope. So if I make all these cards up, and then I can see how many of those little flowers and things that I have left, and then use them to decorate envelopes and the insides. And then last but not least, I have this card. That's that. And I need that label. And then I also need to bring this one back, because we're going to be using the oranges and lemons on it. These, they get everywhere. So we're heading into the last few weeks of celebration number 2. That ends at the end of the month. I decided, because I bought this kit and another kit and then a couple of other bits and pieces, and then with my celebration rewards I actually got the pool party and soft sea foam cards and envelopes, on the basis that I can then use them to make some extra thank you cards using the same stamp set. And that's my intention, which I will share another day, because I haven't even started those. And there's looking for the stamp set, and I just want the thank you. I mean, the thank you fits, as does the all I can say is thanks. And I would imagine, I don't really want to try the other ones at the moment because they've got ink on and I haven't cleaned them yet, that the other ones would fit on there. And I don't want the all I can say is thanks. I do want the thank you. And again, whoops, careful peeling these off, because you don't want to break them. Is just remember to lie them down to stick on, because this one you can very easily, because there's a thinner part in that middle there between the thank and the you. And there's also ways and means that you can actually change this so that you could have the thank in one part and then the U in a different part. Obviously you don't have enough space on these labels, but if you were stamping on something else, then you can again use some washi tape or post-it note, whatever it is that you may have to hand to blank off. So just blank it off, the word that you don't want, or start with the thank and then just blank off the U, ink it up, remove the tape or whatever it is that you've used, and then stamp. But then you do need to make sure that you give the stamp a really good clean, and then you do repeat basically. And this time, the second time, you would then use the washi tape on the other word that you don't want, ink up, and then remove it, and then stamp that second word. So I've got my thank you, and I'm just following the picture. And what do I want? I want some oranges and lemons. And some little flowers. Oh, so I'm going to have to use those. Or I'll use one of them. Right. So personally, I would put that on using dimensionals, and then you could fit these under with the glue dots. Or you could do it that way actually. Maybe I'll do it that way. I'm just going to put a glue dot on here and fix that underneath. Dear. I can see there being a bit of tutting going on here. That's that. And then you can tuck that, one in the front, one behind. So the one in front, I'm not actually going to put a dot on it, simply because it's just been tucked between. This one I will, because I want it behind that particular orange slice. And then this is actually, the oranges and lemons and limes will make quite nice get wells as well. But hey. Okay. No, it's because I didn't actually take them out. That would explain it. So that one I'm going to pop in there. This one, I'm going to pop down there like so. So that's going to go on here with the dimensionals. Now I might, on this one, actually use the dimensionals just to hold things together, just to give some reinforcement. So what I'm doing is I'm just simply like where the two cross and the top piece, just putting a piece on there of the dimensional on there, and then that should be enough. Well, apart from the other bits, I'm going to put one there and one there. Oops, yep. There we go. That's those. So my Christmas stamper stack in October is already fully booked. And I am considering doing a second one the week after. So that information will be going up on the Facebook page and on my blog. and in my newsletter soon. I do need a minimum number, but I've already had a few people contact me to say that they would like to do it, so I think there shouldn't be an issue with it. Let's do these little flowers. Oops. So that's the other thing that's going on at the moment. Here, and then all I need to do is add some embellishments. Oops, don't want to lose that, as I said. Probably would help to take the lid off. So you'll find the Take Your Pick tools in the annual catalogue. It comes with extra putty, which is really handy, although it seems to last forever and a day. So you have your putty one end, and then the other end you have your pokey tool, and if you take that out, it's got this sort of twist and lock mechanism. You have a little spatula, and then it also comes with another double-ended piece that has ball tools on. So it's really handy to have for various things. So those are the 3 cards that I've made using the kit, and I will finish them off, as I said, because I have a lot to go in the post thank you cards. So those will be going in the next couple of days if I get myself in gear, I should say. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing those. As I said, you will find the kit in the kit collection. You will not find it in the catalogue, so you do need to go online. If you want to me to order one because you live local to me and you want to collect, that's fine. I can add one on to my next order. The only thing that I would say is that the kits are available while stocks last. So if between the time that you message me and I place the order, if it's a few days, I cannot guarantee that the kit would still be there. So that's just the one thing that I need to make you aware of. And that's it. So I will see you next week, because we have back at Card and a Cuppa again next week. So I will have the virtual Card and a Cuppa in the afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave a comment and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.